Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Timeout Tuesday for August 11. My goodness, we're already getting through this year so fast. Today I'm going to show you, this is another of my favorites from the catalogue. And I believe that it may even be continuing. I'm not sure, but we were talking about this yesterday and it looks like it might be continuing for a little longer. We're going to be looking at Scenic Coast. Now, if you haven't seen Scenic Coast, you really should get it because the paper is just back in here in Australia and the paper is absolutely gorgeous. Comes in 6x6 packs. But what makes it so stunning is that down here at the bottom, can't see through the cello, but down here at the bottom, it's got this iridescence down here and it just shimmers and in the light and everything. It's absolutely stunning. So it's a beautiful, beautiful paper. I'm going to do a mixture of things today, but I had fun playing with this week. And I'm going to show you two cards that I made that I'm not going to show you this morning. The one on the left, okay, is such a beautiful card. When I saw it, I thought, oh, I've got to have a go at this. It's cased from one by Christine Reinhardt. Okay, now I did mine slightly differently to Christine Reinhardt. You say, how does it look so bright here in the middle? Well, I'll show you the trick. I've got some lights in here. Okay, now what she had done this differently, but I've done mine like this. So I will explain how I did it. So I'm going to move that one first of all, and I'll move my lights and turn them off because I don't need those shining on me. So I ended up making each side 13 by 10.5, and then the leftover I had for this, and then I used the DSP on it. I cut out a circle, and then I added some vellum behind it. You can see that, but I put a piece of white with this dye on it, and then the boat. So it's just a stunning card. The lights really make it look stunning, and when it's sitting there, this whole bit shines. You can probably just see it there a little bit in the light. So that's, well, and I must say, Christine, you did a wonderful job in that. This is the other card, which I absolutely adore. This is my first try. It's by Kate Morgan, and it's a scene. So what she has done is she's used the DSP on a white base, and then she's cut out, I shall find the die, this die here, and she's cut it out of a piece of larger cardstock like that there, but she hasn't cut, you see it doesn't cut this bit, so she hasn't cut the bottom bit off, and then she's just made a cliff. Now I did this in white and then I colored it in Secret Sea, grey granite I think it was, and a few other colors just to give it that rock. I kept all the little bits that would normally come out of the die, all these little bits, and put them back in again. So it makes it look like there's rough rocks there. Then I used my blender pens, Poppy Parade, and I kept all these little bits too and glued them back in. But one thing I did do, behind this I put on some of the double-sided sticky adhesive, and that made it easier to pop these back in again. So I just did that on that piece. So what a gorgeous card. Actually, seeing it on screen is nothing like what it looks like when you see it sitting up. And then I added a little bit of Winker Stella to do the sunset on down over the rocks. So that was Kate Morgan's card. Just another lovely card. But today I'm going to do something a little bit different. This one's by Holly Roeder. And I love, I love blue. That's why I'm wearing blue today. And I decided I'd make this card. Now she had cheese crumb cake in hers, but I actually like the Night of Navy on this. So let's get this started very, very quickly. So what I did, I used, this is a stamp, what's it called? Lasting Linen. And it's a big, big stamp. Grab it here. It's this size. So what I did was I put it on my stamper, what do you call it? I've forgotten the name of it. This thing that's in here. I can never remember. Stamp positioner. That's right. Put it on my stamp positioner, a larger piece of cardstock, and stamped it and then cut it into the right size. So I cut it, I think it was about 9.6 by 13.9. So that's what I'm going to put together first. So let's do that. And I did that in Hydrangea Hue, which is another one of my lovely favorite colors. So let's pop that on the Hydrangea Hue. So I used Hydrangea Hue, excuse my dog, she sees someone walking up the street and she's in her favorite spot. Then I've got my Night of Navy, and I'm going to pop that on next. Put that on there. There we go. So we've got that. That's the base of my card. Now I've cut two of these out, one in Hydrangea Hue and one in Night of Navy. And I'm going to put one that way and one that way. And the easiest way I found to do this was to get my mini glue, and it looks like I've left the lid off again. I hate doing that because it might block this morning, but that's okay. We'll fix it up if it does. Sometimes the lid pops off. I had it upside down, so hopefully it'll work. Okay, just check and see. No, there's a trick with this as well. If it gets blocked. One of my dear friends at one of our retreats made this little pumpkin cushion. I think it was about this time last year, and put some pins in it. And it's very good for unblocking. These long pins are really good for unblocking, and then you can wipe your pin off. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to, whoops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Let's move that over there. Just a little bit of air came out with a little bit. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the edge like this. Actually, what I should have is my silicone mat behind it. Would be much more sensible. Let's try this. Also makes it easier for you to see. There's a little bit of air's got into it, so it's coming out in bubbles. But I'm just going to go just a teeny little bit, you see it? Around the edge, not very much, because I don't want it to ooze all over the place. Come on, you can do it. Doesn't need a huge amount, okay? Now, that I'm going to place in the opposite direction to the other one, which is not working as well as I'd like, but that's okay. Here we go. On top of it. Okay, rub that off. So that's all I've done with that. And then I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to add it onto the navy. And I prefer to do this before I put it on the card. I can put a little bit on these bits because that can be stuck down. And just a little bit of glue all along the edge. I'm not worried about the spines in the middle because they'll be fine. Okay, now turn this over, and I want it with the navy to that side, and I'll pop it there, and then I'll use my silicone mat to push it down. It means that it doesn't move. Excellent. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is add this. Now, when you die cut this out, is the net from the Scenic Coast. These little bits you can push out, but I actually left them in because I want to put them, and I'm going to lift that up a little bit there in that corner. I'm going to pop it in like that underneath. See? I might take a few more out. I might take these two out. So they just push out like that, little triangle. So, and then I use a good dab of glue on that bit, like that, and then just the odd thing like that. Pop it in. Now you think you're going to see that, but you really won't. And just a little bit of glue on the bottom to hold that together. Okay, because I have cut this side. Okay, and this is going to sit on top of those little bits that are there. The only one I might take out is that one there. It should come out easy. I think that one will be okay, but I could take it out if I want to. No, I might leave it just there because this is going to go on. So I've basically cut the circle around, and again I'm just going to glue this down on the top. So turn it over, and I'm just putting glue on the larger pieces, enough to hold it down, like that, and maybe a little strip down this side of the lighthouse. Okay, turn it over, place it on the bottom. Doesn't mean that it doesn't need, it just needs, this lighthouse just needs to be straight, that's all. We don't want a leaning lighthouse. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. Use my silicone mat to push it down. Okay, and then I've got Hope All Things Wonderful Come Your Way, and you can see that this is going over the bottom. So I could have left those little bits in, couldn't I? Because of that, I'd forgotten about that. You get some of my dimensionals, and it looks like that's the one thing I'm running out of. Or over here. I'll use these ones. I can cut these ones. They're bigger ones, but I can cut them. Okay. And to get my scissors out. I'm just going to use the edge ones here on the back of this. So let's get these. One there. One there. One in the middle. And one there. And I'll pop one down there when it gets off my finger. Here we go. And I need to empty my little bin. It's quite full. Take the backs off. Isn't it a cute little bin? Very cute. And I'm popping that on the bottom of the card like that. Okay, now all I want to do now is, and I think I'll use glue dots for this, for my two shells that I've cut out. They come in a group of 3. I'm going to get a glue dot and put it on the back of this one and place it on there, and on the starfish shell as well. I love this starfish shell, and I'm going to pop it there. Okay, now I've got some dewdrop embellishments, and I want to use the navy ones just to add a little bit more to it. So they're like little, well, they're like little dewdrops, aren't they? And that's the card. Hope all things wonderful are headed your way. Now, I may not have used I think I used a different that sentiment from another set, but I'm happy to do that. Let's shut this glue up so it doesn't start coming up again. So that's card number 1. Okay, let's do card number 2. So that was Holly Rider, not Holly Roder. Yeah, it was Holly Roder. Okay, card number 2 is hiding somewhere. Ah, no, where are you? Oh, here we are. Can't look, see where I'm. Okay, this one here is the next. No, that's the last one. Here it is. Yeah, by Zoe Tant. Okay. Now I didn't have basic Burly Blush cards, two-tone cardstock. So what I did was get this all out. This is Zoe's card. She used Burly Blush. I just used the Bubble Bath, and you can notice that it's actually darker on one side than the other. Pop all those little bits over there because I need all those little bits in a minute. Okay, but the first thing I'm going to do is get my sanding block, and I'm going to sand the light side of this, and you can see what happens. It takes the pink off a little bit, and you can be as fussy as you want. You can take more off some of the raised up patterns so that they become more white. And I will tip that into my bin. I've got a cardboard box that I set down here in the floor, and I can drop everything into it. I've torn the cardstock so that the white piece is showing, and then I've got a piece of crumb cake, which is two-tone as well. Got a light side and a dark side, and I've torn that as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is add that to that. So let's do that first. Pop this on. There we go. And I'm going to pop it in the middle of this so that there's a border around it. Okay. And I've got a Burly Blush base. So that is going on the base like that. So let's do it next. Okay. And I pop it. So you can see that the bubble bath is a little pinker than the other one. So if I wanted to make it less pink, I could go in here and just take a little bit more of the background as well. And see what's happening there. Just takes a little bit more off, and you get more a feel of the white. Then I've used Burly Blush and Crumb Cake. And again, I'm going to put these on opposite each other like that. Okay. Just trying to work out where I want to put them. I think that's what I want to do. I think that's what I want to do. Okay, so again, get my silicone mat, get my glue. Ever grateful to Bev for that great suggestion. Don't know if she's listening this morning, but if she isn't, thank you, Bev, and I'll probably see you soon. We've got a retreat in a couple of weeks' time, so very excited to go to that. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on the green one, or the green one, the crumb cake one. Okay, I shall turn it round so that it's on top. You get this beautiful lattice look, and then I'm going to turn the whole thing over and do what I did with the other card. Just put some glue on the back edge. place this on my card like so, in the middle, that out of the way. And then I've got this book that I've cut out in white, and I'm going to pop it down here. Okay. Not sure if this is the way that she did it, but this is the way I'm going to do it, because it's a few days since I made this one. Pop it on like that. Ah, stick to the card, not to me. Move that up a little bit so it's... And then I've got a little bit of this that I'm going to put on. I think I'm going to do something different to what she did. I'm going to put it let me get this turned around. See the white bit I've got underneath the boat? I'm going to place it on there like that. Like that. And then I've got some beautiful shells here. And I'm going to add these to the... Oh, and the other thing I've got is a bird, which I want to put in the sky. And put a few drops of glue on it. Lift it up, turn it over, pop it up there. Okay. And then I'm going to put a few shells with glue dots on it. I've got quite a few here. I'll put 3 on the front and then I'll put 3 on the inside. Get this to move. It's been a bit stubborn about moving around, but it'll get easier as I use more. It's a new pack, so let's pop that on there. And I'll pop that there. Now you notice that I haven't put anything. I'll pop that there. And then I'm going to put another beige one, this one, on there. I haven't put any sentiments or anything on that. But what I'm going to do now is get these ones, and that one didn't come off on my pick. Pop them down here, one there. Turn my starfish over. Not being very successful in pulling them off. Oh, I did have one off. One there. And turn this conch shell over and pop it up there. And close this up. Be a good girl. And put a little bit of tape on the back. And put this inside the card. This way. Now I could put a sentiment on the inside of that as well. But that just adds a little bit more to the inside of the card. It's a pretty card too. Just totally different colours. And my last one today is in my box. I've popped it all in individually and prepared it all. So it's called a 3-step card, and it was made by Robbie Susan Chandler in the US. And I've pretty much copied her. So what we've got is a piece of pecan pie, which I've scored at 11 from each end. Okay, now I'll leave that bit for the moment. I'm going to do the middle bit first because it's easiest. Well, they're all easy actually, but it'll be easy for me to do first. Okay, so I've got some crumb cake here. Okay, I'm going to pop that on here with a little pecan border around it. Then I've got a piece of cloud cover, which I've embossed with I can't remember the name of the folder. I know I have it somewhere, but anyway, I think it's birch folder, this one. Meant to be like a birch tree, okay? I'm popping that on top so it's got a border around it. Not a very big border, but just enough. And then again, I've cut this out. And you can see that I've left the bottom on so that I can put that on there. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue across there. And then I'll use my other glue up here on the top and there. And a little bit there and a little bit on the house. And I'm putting it with a little blue border around it. Okay. Stay stuck. Okay. So that's the first bit. Let's do the back page next, just because it's here. So again, you can see that's why I put them all in bags. Leave that off. Leave that off. I've got my crumb cake, which I'm going to put on first. Again, two-tone cardstock. Oh no, I think this is just normal cardstock, this one. Yep, normal cardstock. And you can see I've torn it along the bottom. Actually, what I've put a little bit of tape to hold that down there. And then I've done the same with this. And I'm going to put some tape on this. Again, pre-prepared. And I've torn across the bottom. And then I've got some of the fishing net, which I have cut. Okay. And what I am going to do is just add a little few glue dots on the back of this. Not going to put a lot on. This bit's going to go in the middle, right along the edge, like that. And then I'm going to do the other two, and I've got one straight edge. So when you die cut this, it looks like that. So I've just cut it down where the angle was in the middle, and popped these on all along the right hand side. Okay, so that one I will put up there, and I'm going to let it overlap the other one. And then this one, the same thing. I just thought this was a very nice card and just a little bit different. Not using the DSP this time, but just gives a subtle difference. Okay. And turn it around. Excuse me. Pop it down the bottom. Okay. Now I've got my sentiment. I've done happy birthday and I've just freehand cut it. And let's put three of these on the back. So 1, 2, 3. Off my sticky fingers. I'm going to pop that there. Now, I think I should have more shells in that one. Oops. Got one there. I think I've got a few more. Not quite sure where they've disappeared to. Oh, here's one. It had stuck there. That's okay. We can put these two on. And again, I'm going to use glue dots because I find that sticks much better than the glue when you've got it on top of something else. So I'll put one there. I have some more that I can use actually. And I might use that one there. And because when I was cutting them out, I had cut extras in case I lost them. I popped them in here. So let's grab one of these out. And I might grab a starfish as well. Might have to get them all out just to get the starfish out. And I'll pop that in the middle. And let's put a bit of glue in the back. And I've used a blending brush with some pancake on it for these, so that they're all slightly different colors, as you can see. And you know what I want to do? I want to roll up a glue dot so it's tiny and put it behind that cone shell so it stays in place. Okay, so that's the back done. Okay, those are spare ones that I had made. Now let's do the front. It's just a very, very pretty card. Okay. Move those out of the way so I don't get mixed up with what I have. Okay, so again, same process. I'm going to put a little bit across the bottom and across the top just to make sure it holds. Place it on like that. This one, same thing. Okay, goes on inside. I think I've got these mixed up a little bit. I think I want to take a tiny little sliver off the side of that because I just feel it's a little bit too big. That might be better. I want to see a little bit of a border around it. That's better. Yeah, still need a little bit of a border on that side. So I do. It's easy to pull off when you start. Okay. I'm going to take about the same off that side. I think I got the back and the front crumb cake mixed up, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens, right? Now, where's the rest of it gone? I got all the pieces out and they've gone missing. This is going on the back, okay? On here so you can write on it. Probably pull them down on the floor or something. You saw me take them all out. And then I'm going to pop that around that way. So that's for that, okay? Now, that's going to go on here. And I had the other bit, but I'm not sure where it's disappeared to put there with the bolt on it, and it's gone missing. That's very sad because I had golden glow, and oh, here it is. It's fallen on the floor. Hang on, I'm coming. There we go. I knew I had it. Again, using 2 layers of that, and I've already stuck these together. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to show you something. When you've got these dots here, and you can see here what I've done is I've done the boat die, and it finishes there, okay? But I didn't want, I wanted to make sure I kept, because it cuts out inside that, so you're left with the boat. And I think I had one of the boat, but that's okay. What I did was I got a stylish shapes die, okay? And I cut the golden glow out in that. And then when I cut it out, I set this on top of it like that, okay? So it's centered, and I ran that through the die cutter, and you're left with this ring all the way around. Okay, can you see that? So if I did that now, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second, I'll do it just so that you can see what I'm talking about. So I'm doing it in golden glow just so you can have a good color on it. Okay, so I've run it through my machine, and when I take the die off, take it off very carefully. Get the boat off. I end up with this, okay? And we pull those pieces out. But can you see what I'm left with? And I've got this bit that fits on top when I did the last one in pecan pie. But can you see what happens? That's if you want to just have a border around it. So I've done it the other way around. I've done golden glow full one behind and then that on top. So let's pop that on our card to finish off today. Come on, let you come. And I'll tuck your tail in. There we go. All the way around. And of course I should be using my silicone mat. And what I've done is the little bits that fell out, I've stuck those onto this. So I did a bit of pre-preparation for this, so that would make it easier to put together this morning and it wouldn't take as much time. And before I do that, I'll put this on as well. So a few dots on the back of this, just enough to hold it in place. There we go. And I'll pop that down there. And it doesn't want to stick there, but it will. And then this is going to go on top like that. And I'm going to use my silicone mat to push it down. Okay, because I can rub the glue off that. Okay. Now I've just got couple of starfish here that I can use. Get the glue off my hand. And I want to close this so I don't have it everywhere. Pop it back in there. Get my glue dots. Pop one in the starfish. And I'll pop that there. And I think that I might do, I might use a darker one in this, I think. This is just a crumb cake one, but I think that would be nice. And what have I got? Got one of those. Do I want to another one? Could put that one down there. Actually, I might put the lighter one. And then if I want these to shimmer and glow, just making sure I've got all the glue dots off the other bit, I can tuck that like that. Oops. Hope if you put the glue on the thing. Get my shimmer pen and just put it on the starfish. I actually would like to put that under the starfish like that because I want the starfish to be on top. Okay, and that is my last card for today, and that one is, as I said, thanks to Robbie Susan Chandler. Okay, what a pretty card. It sits like that, and then you can open it up, and it's just a very pretty card. Okay, so let's have a quick look at these before we finish. That one was my third one. My second one, and my first one, and the other two gorgeous ones I did was this one and my other one, which is hiding under all the stuff on the table somewhere. But yeah, you remember it from earlier. Oh, I loved it. Yeah, it's hiding here somewhere on my table. but that's okay. And I might have pulled it, but yeah, there it is. I knew it was around. That's the other one that I did today, so, or the other day. So I'll put those there like that so that you can see the cards. So pull those down. So it's a bit hard sometimes to get them all in, but yeah, quite different cards, and I'm really proud of them. I love looking through Pinterest and seeing what I can find, and I was really delighted to find these and create them. So yeah, I hope that you can have a bit of a scroll through, look up Scenic Coast and Pinterest issue, and see what you can find as well. Okay, that's it for today. And I will see you next time. I was going to show you how beautiful a day it is outside on my phone. Look at that. Look at that sky. Looks stunning, doesn't it? That's out of my window today. So yeah, gorgeous day outside. So yeah, take care and I will see you next time. Bye.